Hey, welcome. Friday, November 1st. It's already November 1st. Time flies. Here we go. Here we go.
What's going on,
Hey, what's
brother?
going on, brother? How are ya?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, let me pull
I
you
know.
in here. Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Can you see me? Okay.
Ah, I can see you fine. Yeah, looks good.
Perfect.
Yeah, awesome. I just started the show, so you came in right on time.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah. No, I've seen your videos, and you deserve more subscribers, man. And no, I was always just a YouTube lurker. I made my first Eagle video, or my first video, I should say. There was this Eagle fan just talking all this. Can I swear or no?
It's
Can I
up to you.
swear?
It's up to you. It's up
Okay.
to
There was this Eagles fan talking all this shit, and he was talking about how they were going to come in here and that U.S. Bank's their second home. They were gonna come back to their holy grounds, and I just like called me out on it too, so that was fun. But it should be a good game this weekend. I'm waiting for the betting lines to come out because I'm probably going to put some money on the Vikes. I like it, especially
Really?
if they're underdogs.
Okay. All right. Just so you know, sometimes the video cuts out a little bit. So if I seem like I'm not hearing you, it's because your video feed sometimes just goes out. So just keep that in mind. But other than that, looks great.
Sure.
Uh,
Okay, good.
yeah. So give me a little history of your when did you become a Vikings fan, and you from Minneapolis, Minnesota, or nearby? Like where
Oh
are you?
yeah. Yeah, I'm actually in St. Louis Park right now, just about to hit up the Lifetime. I'm in a little parking lot here, and I recalled. Hold on a second. I gotta 1 second. What the heck? I don't know how that happened. There we go.
There you go.
We back live.
We're back
Yeah.
live.
So I grew up in Plymouth, Minnesota, and I think I was always a Viking. My parents are both Vikings fans. Mom's from Chicago, dad's from Melrose, and I was always I was just brought up into it. And I remember when I'm 30, right, and I remember, so I would have been close to like 8 years old, 9, very young. I could feel like the excitement around 1998. And then there's a lot of talk. There was the "We're Going to Miami" Super Bowl song they made, I think.
Okay.
And I remember that. And then ever since then, I've been a big fan. And I think there was some poor play in the early mid 2000s. But then when Adrian Peterson came, I was a junior in high school, and I played high school football. I was a running back, linebacker, and I just loved watching him. And then when he broke that single game rushing record, that was,
That was special.
I remember. Oh, that was very special. I remember watching it with my old man, and he was just like, "Holy shit, this guy's a monster!" And then I think he had a minor ankle sprain or something that week later against Green Bay, and then we ended up losing that game, and then he was out for a couple games. Then Chester Taylor had to bring up the load after that. But yeah, it was so that's kind of how it started, and then I mean, I think ever since Zimmer's been here too, there's been I don't know if you could tell, but just watching videos of the old stadium, like the pomp and circumstance, the atmosphere. Ever since Zimmer's gotten here, it's just been on a whole other level. I feel like they've kind of rebranded that skull moniker and logo, and there's just been a lot more legitimacy and I guess respect I feel towards the Vikings. So it's awesome.
Well,
They've been winning.
I keep saying, it's not your parents' Vikings anymore, and I think that's what you mean. It's like it's like a new Viking. Do you go to U.S. Bank Stadium to watch games, or are you a season ticket holder, or?
So we went to the Raider game. That was a great game. My family actually, that was my birthday present. We went and the whole family kind of went to that game, and we just stomped them. So that was fantastic. And then I brought my little brother to that Eagles game, And after I got into it with that Eagles fan on YouTube, I was like, okay, we got to go to the game now. And then we got pretty good. We found some pretty good tickets, and then we went, and it was just so much fun. And actually, I met some Eagles fans at that. Do you live in Minneapolis?
Well, I did last year. No, I'm in Phoenix right now. I'm in Phoenix.
Oh, you are. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that why the sun's coming on your face? Because you actually have some sun.
Yeah, I have some sun coming in my face. That's real sun.
You have some sun. Yeah, look at that.
That's I remember that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's amazing how.
Just beautiful. It's above freezing, so that's good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
It's above freezing.
It's like 72 here right now. There's not one cloud in the sky. And last year I lived in Minneapolis for like 8 months, and I can remember October 10th it was snowing, and I'm thinking this is insane. This is just insane. So I bought a home here, so that's where I am. And
that's probably pretty smart.
Well, yeah. I mean, at some point you got to say, I'm done with the snow and the cold, and
enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
It actually hasn't snowed up here yet. It actually snowed in Chicago last week, I guess, or earlier this week. So Chicago got it before Minnesota, which is kind of hilarious. Maybe it snowed up north, way up north. I mean, I don't know. I'm a city slicker. I'm not not even. There's a whole other section of Minnesota that I have yet to kind of experience. I mean, there's the way up north, yeah.
Yeah.
I am 100%
not there.
A suburbanite,
yeah.
But I feel like I've seen a decent, not massive, but a legitimate contingency of Vikings fans in Arizona. Am I crazy?
Yes, yeah. I was just going to mention that if I wear my Viking shirt, especially if there's a big game coming up downtown, at least 4 or 5 people yell out, "Go Vikes, go Vikes!" And so there's a ton of Viking fans down here. Yeah, and then Sunday I might go out to Tempe, and that's where ASU is. And there's a Vikings bar that I've been to a couple of times. And I think I'm going to watch a game there on Sunday because it should be a big game, and it gets kind of rowdy, and I like that. So, yeah, it should be cool.
Well, Arizona, I mean, those Cardinals almost beat the. I was so mad. I had a parlay bet on the Niners covering. So they were 10 points, but if you have no gambling at all, you can bet the spread down. And so I had the Niners winning by 10, Patriots, Brown, a couple of locks, right? And all they had to do was just keep that lead, and then Kyler Murray just fires that dart to that rookie, and I was just like, oh. So at this point, I'm just hoping for San Francisco to lose because
me too.
Being the eternally optimistic Vikings fan, just like screw it, I already lost my $40 parlay, whatever the hell it was, and I'm like, we gotta, because if you think about seeding, I mean, if the Vikings can go on a this year kind of reminds me of 2017. Remember when we started 2-2 and then that huge we knocked off 8 or 9 straight wins, and then we lost that letdown in Carolina. Really,
I remember
really
that.
Us because Thielen, you had that bobble catch rule bullshit that happened. I mean, excuse me. Now it would be a touchdown, right? With the new rules, that Thielen bobble. But I mean that could have changed the different. I mean, we still might have lost because I think we just got out coached, but it would have been 37. Goddamn Eagle fans on Twitter saying 38-7, 38-7. So now, of course, my response is 38-20 because we've beaten in the last 2 years, which is lovely. But no, I was going to say, going off an earlier tangent, after that Eagles game, I actually ran into some because I hate the Eagles, but they were like, you guys really just took it, they're like, wow, we had no idea that you guys are so much better than you were last year, because we barely beat them last year. I think it was 23-21. They were like, man, you guys just took it to us, and I was like, well, you guys are actually half decent Eagle fans. I thought I was gonna start throwing hands with Eagle fans here, and
Eagle fans are the worst. Eagle fans are the worst.
No, they are.
They are the worst. Yeah, I've watched some of the YouTube videos on how bad they can get, and I guess if you go into the men's room, they'll like pee on you and the whole thing. I mean, they just
really?
Yeah, they'll do all sorts of crazy stuff, and I mean, I've never been to a game there, but that's what I heard. Like they'll just go out of their way to make you miserable, if you're not a Eagles fan. So what do you think?
I read the. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so predict the next few games for us. We have the Chiefs on Sunday, Dallas the following week. Broncos are coming in, and then we have a bye, and then we're playing, I believe, the Lions somewhere in there. How do we get through these next 5 weeks?
So, you want me to be optimistic Vikings fan or realistic?
I want you to be you. I want you to be you.
Yeah. I think the Chiefs have the 30th ranked rush defense. I think it's going to be a big Dalvin Cook day. I am a little worried about. I think Zimmer has to activate Holton Hill. He was kind of non-committal about is he going to activate him or not, because he just came off obviously that 8-game suspension. I think you gotta put Waynes on Tyreek Hill. He's the big question mark. And then is Jaron Kearse going to play after he did all that crap he pulled? So Zimmer has to make those two decisions, because we gotta guard. I mean, if we can get through this Chiefs game well, and I'll talk about Dallas a little bit, but we gotta cover that Hardman, Watkins, Hill, and Kelsey. And I think you gotta put. I mean, it's shitty, but you almost have to allow Kearse to play this game, because he's our best matchup against that tight end.
Kelsey.
Yeah. I think, yeah. And then you got to put Waynes on Hill. And then if Xavier is going to crap the bed like he has been, I think you got to bench and put Holton Hill in. I don't think they have a slow receiver on. You can't. I don't know if you can put Xavier on Kelsey. I mean, you could potentially do that, but I mean, maybe there's some dime or nickel packages that you can allow that. But I think we get the W because of their defense. They have a bunch of injuries. I did see a video of Mahomes kind of running around. He looks like. I'm hoping he's not going to play. It would be fun to see him play at full strength, but
he's questionable. That's the report. Yeah. He's questionable, which means 50-50. I guess that's what questionable means. So even if he comes in, you gotta think he's going to be a little rusty.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so that's a benefit. Could help us. If we get that win, we're 7-2, right? That's a good. I've always said that if we can get 2 road wins, which we have, we can be 10-4, right? At the end of the season, and if we can get to 8-3, that's even better. Maybe a home playoff game, and then we can maybe make a good run into the Super Bowl, because it's how you finish, not how you start.
Yeah. We got Chiefs, Dallas, Broncos,
Lions, I think.
Seahawks.
Actually,
Seahawks. And then we have the bye. So Chiefs.
No, I have the schedule right here. We have Kansas City, Dallas, Denver bye, and then we have Seattle on Monday night in December. We have actually 5 games in December. Seattle, Detroit at home, Chargers away, and then Green Bay and Chicago coming in. So.
Oh God, I forgot about the Chargers. Yeah. No, yeah. I'm actually going to that game.
Are you really?
I'm gonna try and I'm gonna take my little brother, my sister's boyfriend, who hopefully they'll be fiance soon, but he's from San Diego, and he was like a big Chargers fan, but I've converted him to be a split household. I gave him my Diggs jersey because my sister and him live in Chicago, and I'm trying to get him to go to that game because I'm like, it's going to be like a Vikings home game, but they're playing the Chargers. So we're actually looking at tickets right now. The flights to LA actually aren't that bad from Minneapolis. It's like, you can get Spirit like $180 round trip. It's like phenomenal. It's just the ticket prices are a little higher because it's a soccer stadium.
It's a soccer stadium. Yeah, it's like they only have like one level. They don't have like 2 or 3 levels like most other NFL stadiums. I might even drive. I'm like 5 hours away from LA, so I might even drive out there and check out that game.
Yeah, you should. And then we could link up tailgate and get drunk because the game's not till 7:30, so it'll be a lot of tailgating before the game, right?
Yeah, and we can do a live podcast right on location. You know what I mean?
Like, sweet. Let's do it. All right, I'm gonna hold you to it.
I'm gonna try.
I have this Viking shirt that I've been wearing. It's been good luck. It says Moss Carter 98. You know, like the political slogans.
Yeah.
But it's like Reagan Bush 84. But this one's like Moss Carter 98. And I've gotten so many compliments on it. I'm gonna wear the hell out of that all weekend long. I'm not gonna wash it. Don't care.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
But I think the Vikings have the team to run the table. I
do too.
We have our last 3 divisional games at home. I think the scariest games are going to be. I'm hoping Chicago matches up best against us, and I hate it. That week 17 last year, I have a bad taste in my mouth from that. But I think they're going to be like done by that time. They're going to be kind of like. Like back like the last 5 years when we played them, like we would lose in Chicago, but then we'd kick their ass at home. And then like last year was like the first time that didn't happen. They beat us at home. And that's why it was like a big shocker. But I think that the scariest games would be the Seahawks on Monday Night Football because like the Seahawks on Monday night are like just have a ridiculous record, and we just can never seem to play well up there. But
could this be our year to do it? I think could we do it? Could we finally go into Seattle on a Monday night? Rain probably. And get a win out of that. That would be huge. That would be huge.
I don't think I'm not sure how good their run defense is in Seattle or their pass defense. I mean, but I think Zimmer is a very analytical guy, and I think he's tried to fix things that. Maybe this is just me spitballing, but I feel like as a fan watching him, like he has learned from mistakes he's made in the past, and like I feel like he knows that in order for us, the Vikings, to have the best chance in the postseason, we have to have all our games at home. So I think that he has communicated that to the team, and I think they are trying to prepare themselves to run the table, to try and have that home field advantage throughout the playoffs, or the 2 seed, one of the two. I mean, I could see, the Niners are frauds, in my opinion. Like to let the Cardinals come back like that, I think they're gonna. They're still going to be in the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to get the 1 or 2 seed. I think the Vikings can sneak into that 1 or 2 seed.
Yeah, I agree.
I just hope it's not the Saints.
I agree too.
I just hope we get that damn 1 seed this time and don't have to go into New Orleans, because if the Saints have that 1 seed after what happened last year in the NFC Championship game, it's a freaking rematch of 2009. Like, you just know they're going to get a couple calls their way, and I just So I want to see the Saints lose 1 or 2 more games. Even if they lose 1 more, it's going to be really hard for the Vikings to run the table. But like, if they can just have that 1 game at a time mindset and mentality, kind of like they had in 2017. Zimmer did a really good job. Just orchestrating that. I think they could do it.
Yeah, I do too.
So, what do you think? What's your record prediction?
Oh yeah, and I keep saying 10-4, 11-3 is realistic. Can we play out of our minds and win out? And 14-2 would be. I think 14-2 is what we need to even think about home playoff game and maybe even first seed. You know what I mean? But we're going to have a lot of help from somebody with, with Saints and Seattle and the Seahawks and the Saints are the two teams that worry me. I agree with you with the 49ers. I think they're like a sprinter. You know, they've started out really fast, but they can't run the long distance which you need to in this league. 16 games, you know what I mean? I think at the end they're going to start to show who they really are. I think Chicago is who I thought they were, not that good. Trubisky, so I don't think they're going to be a factor. And then you got to look at the Packers. They're a little surprising to me this year because they are 7-1 now and they keep winning. Even when you think they're not going to win, they win. So it's going to be interesting. But we have the team. I think you're right. We have the team. We have the defense. We have Dalvin Cook is playing like MVP Dalvin Cook. And he's making Kirk's life a little easier for sure. Yeah. Not to downgrade. Kirk is playing really. He won NFC Player of the Month. So that's got to say something. Yeah, he's got to win the big primetime games, and like that's the big one. That's why the media still is not giving the Vikings the credit I feel like they deserve. But at the same time, I feel like Zimmer kind of likes that. I think he wants the team to feel like they're kind of the quote unquote shit on team in the media. I think they use that as fuel. So I mean if that's what it takes to go 14-2, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Are you going? What was that?
I
was going to say, are you going to Miami if they're in the?
If they're in the Super Bowl.
What are you going to do if they win the Super Bowl? What are you going to do when they win the Super Bowl? Because they will someday. How are you going to celebrate that Super Bowl win?
A lot of illegal substances and alcohol, probably. No, I'm kidding. Shit. I mean, are you kidding me? Down in Miami, man. I've been there before. I was there for a work reward trip through work, like President's Club type deal, and I had a blast, man. It was a lot of fun. So, I tell you what, like that would be the think about it. That would be the revenge Super Bowl, location that would have been where we went in '98 had we got the Super Bowl, right?
That's right.
So,
good point.
So it would be a redemption arc for the Vikings in a minor form or fashion. Plus, I think we lost to the Dolphins in a Super Bowl, all right? So it would be like double revenge.
Double revenge, Well, I can't wait.
What's the average Super Bowl ticket cost? Like $4,000,
$3,000, $4,000, and then another $1,000 a night for whatever room you can possibly get. So you're.
Oh yeah.
So you're looking at a $10,000 weekend. With food and.
That's what was so disappointing about that 2017 is because we could have been the first team to host a Super Bowl. Like.
Oh yeah.
I had so many buddies. I was too scared to do it. Living in a apartment renting, I didn't want to get a lease infraction or something. But I mean, people were renting out their apartments for like $1,000 a night, and I was like, damn, I should have just not been a pussy and signed up for that. But no, I mean, it was crazy too. But the fact that the Eagles won it, I just kind of I went out that Super Bowl night when they had all the parties and stuff, but otherwise I'm like, oh no, I'm done. So I just can't stand the fact that they won.
Well, I did enjoy the fact that they beat the Patriots. That I'm from Massachusetts, all my life minus this last year. I've always hated the Patriots because they always win. And I didn't want them to win in my stadium, you know what I mean? So I kind of liked the Eagles a little bit because I didn't want the Patriots to celebrate in my stadium. So that was kind of cool. But,
Just a second here. I was going to adjust some. But how did you become a Vikings fan then?
Just love at first sight. Watched them play one day, and when I was a kid, when I was about 10, and they became my team. And
I don't want to date you, but was that in the 80s, 70s?
Well, we won't talk time frame because I'll give away my because you just told me you're 30.
Was it the Fran Tarkenton days, or was it oh my God, who was our quarterback in the '80s? My God, I can't even remember. Did we have Rich Gannon in the '90s?
Oh, geez, yeah. I don't know. I forget. I lose some of the. I know we haven't had a franchise quarterback in a long time. Let's just say that. So, and that's another thing we need is a franchise quarterback. We got to start finding someone that can take us year in and year out, not just this hoping 1 year. Every year. And could it be Kirk? I mean, it could if he.
Could be if he keeps proving it.
If he keeps performing.
Well, that's why I like the 3-year deal with him. I mean, I know people were ready to just kill him after that Bears game and Packer game, but at least now you have some time to see if he can prove it or not, because we have to pay him regardless. And if you can't. I don't think we can draft a quarterback next year, him going into the final year of his contract, because that's just gonna rock the boat, in my opinion. I think knock on whatever wood I can find here in the car, that he's gonna perform well and keep this up. I mean, maybe I've seen Kirk have better pocket awareness these last 4 weeks.
Yes.
I feel like.
Good point.
Whenever it was a big moment, he would just get so fucking freaked out and jittery, and then make a poor decision. When's the last time you saw him throw the ball away last year? Never. I don't think I ever saw him try to throw the ball away. If he's going on a boot or a rollout or something like that, that's another thing he's doing a lot more this year is that he's actually using his legs. But if it's not there, he throws the ball away. I think he's learned that from that Green Bay game. I mean, damn, if we would have just ran that ball in Green Bay, we probably would have won that game.
Oh, I keep saying it all the time, and I agree with you on his pocket presence, because if you watch the game against Detroit when he threw that long pass to Diggs to seal the deal, he actually slid a little bit, you know what I mean, to give himself that little extra time. And that's something that Brady does really well. He'll just slide because he's slow as hell. He uses, just that awareness to just slide a little bit and make a throw in. And I'm seeing Kirk do that a little bit. So maybe this is the beginning of something different and something good.
Maybe he's trusting the line a little bit more too.
That too, yeah.
I mean, we had some you had I don't even know who the other guard was. You had Remmers in there at guard. He's a tackle. What the? I mean, so we were just awful up front last year, and I think Bradbury and Elflein got their asses handed to them early. But I mean, especially Bradbury, but they're young, and I think if you're a Pro Football Focus guy or whatever, you look at kind of how they rank out, but they've been steadily increasing in their grade every single week too, which is nice to see. That was a welcome. So hopefully they can, the hope is that they figured it out and they're going to continue on that trajectory, right?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Yeah. And they're such a great kind of just overall unit, running and run blocking in general. And I like to see that.
The guy O'Neal is a guy that's surprising me a lot. How well he's playing. Yeah, he's he's only allowed just one sack in this year, which is extremely awesome. So
over the last 2 years, because he didn't allow one last year.
Oh, did he? Okay, I
wasn't. No, he didn't allow a single one last year. So you're right. That sack against the Redskins? Yeah, it was the first one he ever allowed. So man, I mean that's pretty good. I don't know. I think Khalil Mack was getting stuffed by him. I mean, I don't know if he was on Reef the whole game or if I think they switch off, but because that other guy was now a non-factor, the Georgia guy, I forget his name, on the Bears, whatever, Leonard Floyd. But Khalil Mack got under Reef, and that strip sack kind of changed the game too, along with Diggs. And Diggs has got to hold on to the damn football, man.
Yeah, he's got to stop that. He just gets careless. He starts, he starts thinking celebration before the play's over. You know what I mean? Like, just catch the ball, run, do what you need to do, and celebrate after the game is over. You know what I mean? So, he can get careless, but he's a great player.
I think as far as Sunday goes, I think the Vikings have the chance to beat the Redskins like straight up, like 34-19, 34-18. What I'm concerned about is the short underneath passes, and then those quick receivers using their speed. But I mean, we have Anthony Barr and Kendricks there too, so I don't want to see, who's that backup? Chase Daniel. I don't want to see a Chase Daniel game where it's just dink and dunk all the way down the damn field all game, and then. Yeah.
Well, how do you what's your Sunday? Where do you watch the game when it's an away game? What do you do? What's your ritual? Sunday ritual.
Recently I've been going to this bar called Cowboy Slims in Uptown because it's it has a fantastic vibe to it. On game day there's a lot more bars that will host the things, but I went to the Lions game and it was dead by the stadium, and we had to go somewhere else. We went to the Slims bar, and there was 80 people in there, and they have they have a drum with the skull chant going, and they have drink specials, so you get pretty lubed up and ready to go, and it's fun. And then you have all the other restaurants in Uptown you can go to after the game and try and sober up a little bit. But it's fun. That's kind of what I've been doing recently.
That's what I used to do. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I would say I watched a lot of games from home last year, and I was about ready to throw something at my TV watching those games. So I'm a superstitious guy. I've become a little more superstitious now, so I'm just gonna keep going to Slims.
Yeah, there you go.
Watching the bar there, or watching the game there.
When I was in Massachusetts,
where you used to go?
When I was in Massachusetts, I used to go to the Tavern in the Square in Cambridge, which was right by MIT and Harvard, where all the Viking fans would gather. And I had the drum. I was a Skull drum guy, so I had to make sure and bring my purple drum. In fact, I have it here somewhere. And it was awesome to have a job, to bring the drum and be the Skull guy. So it was a lot of fun.
I was almost gonna go to the Chiefs game too, but my girlfriend had to work that Saturday and Sunday, so I was she had to work the Monday after, so I was like, damn, because this was also before the Mahomes injury, so I just there's videos of him running around on Twitter. If you look at just search Mahomes on Twitter, there's practice video of him, and he looks like
he's ready to go.
I don't know. He looks like he's running around. So I don't know what's gonna. I mean, as a competitor, you like to see us, compete against the best. But I mean, we gotta keep stacking up these W's, man.
Yeah, like you said, it's that home field advantage. If we can get that in the playoffs, that's night and day. Although it didn't help us in '98, but
we didn't have defense in '98 though.
Obviously, yeah. Because after that missed field goal, they just drove down the field and scored a touchdown.
This is the most complete Vikings team I've seen in my lifetime.
There you go.
Without a doubt. Even 2017, Keenum was, he was throwing a lot of go catch him. Thielen and Diggs balls, you know what I mean? You can just tell, even that Redskins game, he just threw it in a fucking window for Diggs. That one down the sideline there to kind of ice the game too. Even, I mean, just the accuracy is a lot better than Keenum. Keenum's a baller, I'll give him that, And that's one thing I saw that Redskins game, he practiced against our defense all the time. So like, on the one hand, I was like, what the hell is going on? How is Keenum making these balls on us? But on the other hand, I'm like, well, he went against these guys every day, so he kind of knows their tendencies a little bit.
Well,
But as far as
the Vikings brass, they must know.
Yeah.
I mean, they shelled out $84 million for Cousins, and they could have had Keenum, so they must have known something that we don't know, and maybe they're right. Maybe they were right. Maybe Cousins is the guy, long term, and we shall see. I mean, if he plays with the edge that he's been playing with, and he's making throws like he's been making throws, and even when Thielen goes down, we got B.C. Johnson. He's coming in, stepping up. I like our tight end, Smith Jr. I think
Roll Tide, baby.
Roll Tide, yes. He looks really good. He's got to get more touches, and then, I think again, Dalvin Cook. Is the Chiefs going to get cooked? That's the question on Sunday. Are the Chiefs going to get cooked? Dalvin cooked. If he can run like he's been running and catching and running like he's been catching and running, it's going to be our game. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think they're gonna blitz a lot too. When they're on defense, so we just have to be really prepared because I don't want to see Cousins like getting hit all fucking game at the beginning and then it turning into like the Bears game. I don't think that's going to happen because I think we'll be able to run the ball. I mean, the Chiefs have been like one of the top blitzing teams, of all season. The last couple of games where they've been without Mahomes, they've been blitzing like crazy. Like they blitzed the shit out of Joe Flacco, and it worked. Well, Flacco's also kind of trash, which we've seen. But I think Koobs and Stefanski are going to come up with a game plan to take away and punish them for blitzing so much, and Cousins just has to hit those passes, and Diggs and BC, and hopefully Thielen plays. We'll see. I mean, we might not even need Thielen this game if we can establish the run too, because I don't want to see a nagging hammy injury with him.
Right? Yeah. Rather him fully healthy and not, because you can hurt a hammy real quick if it's not fully healed and you're back to square zero.
We're going to need him for the Cowboys game.
We're going to need him for the Cowboys game. And we're going to need him for December.
Yeah.
Our December run.
That Cowboys game is going to be huge because, they're not a pushover. They lost to the Jets, and that was funny and stuff. But, they got their tackles back. I think they're going to be coming healthier. I think we can still run on the Cowboys, but, we really need to be full strength against the Cowboys because that's not going to be an easy game. It's prime time, so there's going to be all this bullshit about Kirk Cousins is Kirk going to be able to pull it out on prime time and all this other stuff. So if we can just get past these three games, do we play the Broncos after
Dallas?
The Cowboys?
Yeah, after Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
If we can just get through these next four games with wins, man, that would be
huge.
So amazing. We'd be 10-2.
Huge.
The same mark we were last year. Or in 2017. Yeah. They just gotta keep it going.
Yeah, that would be huge. If we're 10-2 going into December, that would be huge, and the confidence would be sky high. And I got to tell you, since we started this podcast, you were in light. Now you're in darkness.
Here we go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. You must be in Minnesota because
it gets a little darker here. There we go. There's my pretty mug.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, you guys are 2 hours ahead of us, right? I don't have the sun shining in.
Right. You got cloudy skies. The sun is dropping. Yeah. The temperature just probably dropped 20 degrees in Minnesota when the sun goes down, right? Or
it's been cold all day, but it's like 34 right now, so it's cold. Yeah, it's probably going to get down to 23 tonight. So Lovely.
I think next Wednesday next Wednesday is going to be 17 degrees in Minneapolis at night.
Love it.
Yeah. So
love it.
Yeah. Hey, this podcast is now 40 minutes long. It just goes to show you that you start talking Vikings and the time flies.
That's right.
Absolutely loved having. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna have to connect a little bit down the road here. It'd be fun to you put your money where your mouth is and go to LA for that Chargers game, because that's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a Vikings home game, man.
Right.
There's gonna be so many Vikings fans there.
Right. Yeah, I think I'm like 80% sure I'm gonna go, and closing in on 90% sure I'm gonna go.
Let's get to a 90.
Yeah, let's get me to a 90. It's an easy ride right out 10 West to LA, and so it's not too difficult. I might even fly in. It's only an hour flight, but let's plan on that, and we can do something live there, and let's make this our year, dude. I mean, can this be our year where we finally go all the way and we hoist that trophy, and we have a parade down Nicollet Ave, I think is where they would have it. I don't,
Skull Lights.
Yeah, let's do it.
We parade everywhere. We would bring that damn parade through every single street in Minneapolis. After what we've gone through.
Yeah. And
we'd probably tear the city up, but I don't think anybody would care.
And then I would go back to Massachusetts, and I would rent a purple pickup truck, and I would ride down Boylston Street with big speakers, and to all the Patriots fans, like we did it, finally. So
actually, the Vikings beating the Patriots in the Super Bowl would be like the ultimate, like the most successful team in NFL history against the most cursed team
in NFL history.
The cursed team finally lifting the curse, man, that would just be amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I'm gonna hold you to it. Let's get that 80 to a 90 to 100 for that LA Chargers game, and we'll be in touch. It was fun talking to you, bro.
You too, bro. Hey, thank you so much. Skol,
baby.
Skol.